Keith?
What's up?
Did tonight's
Will do.
did tonight's knockout shock you, man?
I mean, not the once that left hook landed the way that it landed, you know, and I saw once I studied Bachram, I saw that I already knew he was gonna outwork Tszyu. He did that from the start with his jabs and this and that. I saw awkward hooks, like around the guard kind of hooks. See, there's a reason why it's good to watch tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get to say like, okay, because I've seen this, it's fully guaranteed, but at least you get to take the mental note that I've seen it, and if I see it again, it's in line, right? So I've seen fighters, I'm like, oh, all he does is stand up straight. But they watch me, they probably watched some of my tape, saw some of my knockouts. All of a sudden I swing at them, guess what they're doing? They're ducking. I'm like, I ain't never seen this dude duck. I just watched film on him, he never ducked. Okay, Keith, so what? He ducked, make an adjustment. You know, it's not a big deal. So it's not guaranteed that watching film is exactly what you're gonna get all the time, but you can get certain tendencies because we're human beings, right? So we work in patterns, you know, and you know, styles have styles. So why are you gonna fight outside of your style? The problem is Tszyu and his team, they're not trying to add to the repertoire. When I signed the contract to fight Tszyu, and they said, Tszyu, you're about to fight Keith One-Time Thurman, the former unified welterweight champion of the world. Is there anything new that you have done in your preparation for this event? You know, you just same thing. It's just boxing. You know, you throw 1,000 punches. You did it before, and you do it again. You know, so they have that kind of mentality. And
is it a little bit of an arrogance?
I think coming from Australia, coming over here undefeated at the start of this year, I clearly think there was arrogance when he first came over here, and it might have hung over a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know, when you're looking at the big world of boxing and when you want to be at the top, you need to say, hey, I know what I do. I know what I do good, but I want to be great. So what's something that I can do? Go watch tape, go watch old fighters, you know? Is it, okay, I'm a pressure guy, I do this and that. Let me dig more to the body. Let me do this, let me do that. And just do something not really new, just more, right? More. You build one brick at a time, and all of a sudden you got a mansion, you know? So, you know, we have these sayings of there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. There's no such thing as a complete fighter, right? But if I'm gonna say somebody who was working so hard to completion was our beautiful gold medalist, Andre Ward. Andre Ward, he had so many tactics from inside tight. I mean, he was banging with bangers when he wasn't a banger. How do you do that? Right? Defense, understanding of inches and IQ and allowing yourself to train outside of your comfort zone. Oh, I'm a boxer. Oh, I'm Olympian. You can't put Andre Ward in a box. If it's a box, the box is just called sharp. You know, the man was sharp and the man was tactical. And that's what it takes when you want, I mean, look at his career. Look how well he did in they did the Super 6 and he blew through that and it made him move up, and then he still never lost, you know? So, I mean, it takes skills, it takes tactics, and if you want to be great, you know, it takes honest. You got to be honest with yourself. You know, you don't got to go out here and tell the media, you know, oh, I need to work on this. You know, oh, I need to work on that. But when you look yourself in the mirror as a human being, you need to be able to accept your flaws. And the only way that you cover up those cracks is by putting in the work.
Where do you think this loss leaves Tszyu right now?
Broken, distraught. And, you know, if you know, maybe he fights in the U.S. again. Maybe he goes back to Australia and, you know, has a few fights just for the home crew and gets a few wins back under his belt and builds some confidence, works on the defense, works on having a little bit more of an output, and you know, and then, like I said, win two fights back at home, and then maybe try to step back over here, back into the big swimming pool of the world of boxing. But you know, it's tough when you're trying to fight the best fighters in the world. You know.
On the other hand, though, Bakram, I mean, not a lot of people knew about him coming into this fight. The true hardcores did, but a lot of casuals obviously didn't. Where do you think he goes from here? Obviously, now he's going to be a talked about guy at 154. A lot of people weren't talking about him before this.
It's interesting. It's interesting because, you know, to be honest, you know, he's going to go back to Russia, you know, or, well, actually, no, he trains in California. So, you know, it just really matters, you know, it's the IBF, you know, so, you know, he might fight people who are ranked within the IBF, but, you know, his team is probably going to gun for a unification, and then it just matters on which champion wants to fight him, you know. There's rumors of Fedor and Spence, so, you know, he can't really go after Fedor right now. They talk about Charlo coming back, you know, that's a potential fight. You know, so there's good fights out there, but the way, I mean, they weren't fighting him before, they were avoiding him before. There's no evidence that he's not going to be avoided again. The only good thing he has is that he has the title. So because he has the title, he can easily stay active, fighting people amongst the ranks in the IBF and dominating, furthering his fan base, showing us what he brings to the 154 division. But, you know, does Bud want Bakram? You know, does Bud take that fight?
Question, yeah.
So who takes it? Who really wants it and takes it and says, yeah, that's my next opponent? Or does Bakram end up staying in his IBF lane, defending his title until, just like he waited for, like he says, all happens through Allah, when he says, you know, he's gonna have to stay in his lane until another door opens up to do another great fight in this division in the world of boxing. But for right now, he's got a lot of us excited.
I got you. And one last one, man. What about Keith Thurman? How you feeling coming back from the injury? And when do we expect to see you back in the mix of things, man?
Yeah, you know, the surgery happened March 27th. The fight was scheduled for March 30th. So we're clearly over 6 months of rehabilitation, which is why I'm now cleared for anything and everything. So all I have to do is get back with my team, get on the schedule, get on my weight management. Obviously, we're so close to the end of the year. So whatever fights have been scheduled are going to play out, and hopefully you will see me within the first quarter of, you know, it could be February. It could be as early as February of 2025.
All right, that's great news, man. Well, thank you again for your time, champ. As
Yes,
always, appreciate your takes. This is Johnny from the Hangout Spot, covering from the Boxing Voice with Keith One-Time Thurman.
What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content, or right here on our YouTube members.